The following photos were shot with an iPhone X, a Pixel 2 XL, a OnePlus 5, and a OnePlus 5T. I'll show you 4 pictures placed in random order, you pick your favorite, and I share my results. Ready?
Let's do it.
At first glance, the OnePlus 5 really stood out to me. The vibrancy of red and the richness of the overall picture was appealing, even if it wasn't completely color accurate. The iPhone X's colors look a bit washed out here, evidenced by the tree branches and buildings on the left. The OnePlus 5T similarly overexposed, and the Pixel 2 XL offered the most accurate colors of the set. At 100% crop, you can see that the OnePlus 5 and OnePlus 5T shot a little softer in their pictures. The iPhone X is better, but if you really pick out specifics, take a look at the shoulder area of this statue. Now look at the Pixel 2 XL. You can pick the statue's pieces apart, but it's completely lost on the others. Moving to a different part of this cropped photo, you can also see in the yellow section of this statue, again with more saturation but a loss of clarity for all but the Pixel 2 XL. In this next set of shots, the first thing I spotted was the blown out sky on every picture, again except the Pixel 2 XL. The iPhone X shoots a bit brighter than the rest, losing the shadows on the left and just overexposing the entire shot. At 100% crop, the iPhone X's loss of clarity is more apparent. If not for the blown out sky in the back, the OnePlus 5 and OnePlus 5T would hang right with the Pixel 2 XL. All 4 of these shots handled this photo well. There's nothing too detailed or fancy here that separates one from another. If anything, the white balance on the iPhone X is a bit warmer, giving the whites and blacks a bit of a punch, but this one comes down to personal preference. Every camera phone shot beautifully in this set. The only big difference comes down to the blues in the sky, which again is more a personal preference if anything. If we crop to 100%, details are pretty much on par here. But if we move to the sky, you'll notice there's a lot of noise coming from the OnePlus 5T. There's also a bit showing on the Pixel 2 XL. The iPhone X and the OnePlus 5's results would be the better choice here when broken down. This set of photos also comes out well for all phones involved, but at 100% crop, the Pixel 2 XL carries the softest picture. The OnePlus 5 and OnePlus 5T offer a tad more clarity, but the iPhone X has excellent separation of the leaves in the tree and a greater range of color throughout. Indoors, our results begin to separate themselves as they're not as similar to each other as they were in daylight. The iPhone X and Pixel 2 XL output the most accurate, true-to-life color, but the iPhone X overexposes. It blows out sections of this picture, most noticeably the columns where no light even exists, manufacturing a much brighter shot than intended. The OnePlus 5 and OnePlus 5T handle light much better, but the Pixel 2 XL handles it perfectly. The colors and lighting are spot on. this set of portrait shots indoors and in so-so lighting, the Pixel 2 XL exhibited the best in clarity and detail. The OnePlus 5 and OnePlus 5T's results were soft, and so was the iPhone X. It also shot a lot darker than I expected. Portrait mode is something I'd really like to test solely in a future video, so I'll put that on my to-do list. When it comes to night shots, the Pixel 2, and Pixel 2 XL in this case, has always resulted in the brightest of photos. And yes, you'll definitely get a good amount of noise in the sky because of it, and a yellow hue from the streetlights surrounding it. But with that, you also get the best detail when it comes to the Christmas lights. The ball of lights on top isn't overblown like it is on the iPhone X and the OnePlus 5. The OnePlus 5T seems to be holding its own with its better night photography compared to the OnePlus 5, a clearer, less overexposed shot. The OnePlus 5T has a great balance of the night sky. The Christmas lights that overtake this picture do so without blowing anything out. It offers more clarity than the light haze that covers the iPhone X, and while it might not be as bright as the Pixel 2 XL, it isn't capturing that yellow tinge in the overall picture. Portrait shots at night come out pretty well, but when compared to each other, the OnePlus 5 is softer than the OnePlus 5T. The 5T has deeper blacks and a truer to life skin tone. The Pixel 2 XL has the best detail, but I've noticed the skin tone is off, and isn't as natural as it is during the day or indoors. And the iPhone X shoots warm but offers the most natural looking skin tone, yet it has a tendency to sometimes shoot subjects really soft at night. The Pixel 2 XL in this set of shots has a ton of lens flare that really throws off the photo. The OnePlus 5 and 5T portray a bit of this, but nowhere near as much, and while the iPhone X minimizes lens flare, it overexposes the light, adds noise to the night sky, but it does offer the brightest shot. The OnePlus 5T might be the darkest of the bunch, but I think the colors and exposure are well balanced, with a limited amount of light given in this scenario. Again, the OnePlus 5T gives the iPhone X and the Pixel 2 XL a run for its money in this night shot. The overall lighting is balanced and doesn't overexpose in the background like the 10, nor the foreground like the 2 XL. In this final night shot with very difficult lighting, the Pixel 2 XL and the iPhone X are the brightest in the bunch. The OnePlus 5T isn't too far behind, still offering decent exposure and detail, definitely a step above the OnePlus 5 when it comes to night shooting. It's nice to see that camera phones like the OnePlus 5 and OnePlus 5T can hold their own against other flagship phones that cost about $400 or $500 more than the competition. Most results, during the day especially, provide excellent picture quality, only being able to pick apart the differences by having to crop and nitpick at the details. And while cameras might not be the most important feature of the phone to some, it definitely is a deal breaker for others, which is probably why you're watching this right now. Although with such a big price difference, sometimes they expect the results to be leaps and bounds better. At $500, a OnePlus 5T probably carries one of the best cameras at its price. At $650, you can get the Pixel 2 with the exact same camera specs as the Pixel 2 XL. And at $800, you can get the iPhone 8 Plus that's a lot like the 10 sans the OIS on its telephoto lens. Whatever you end up getting, just know there's another phone around the corner waiting to dethrone the best camera phone in the business. which is of course a